I'm excited to see, because fundraising is hard. So that's what we're really trying to do. Because obviously, in order to do these clinical studies, even before on people, it's a lot of money. So we're working on funding. Luckily, we got some funding where we can move to the next phase. So it's still very new. I don't have a lot to say about it. But I really think that between like CTF, the Gilbert Foundation, like NFX, and Cure Edge, we're really like we're gonna make it happen. The time is really now.
That's exciting. Yeah. So yeah, I just pulled it up right here, so people can see it. I'll remember to link it into the video at the end.
That would be awesome.
Do you want to see the website really quick?
Yeah, we can show them. Yeah.
I mean, I'm already showing them.
I say attitude on my end. That's okay. I've seen it before, so it's okay.
Oh, you have seen it? Okay, yeah. Then
yeah.
We can skip sharing it actually with you for right now, if you're okay. Yeah. No, this looks cool. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. That's cool. I'm sure it'll be very interesting to some people to go back and read that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So what exactly is the difference between like Miss America, Miss Universe, and Miss International and all that stuff?
So all pretty much platform-based pageants. There are some pageants out there that aren't as platform-based. I think Miss America is more like glam, more public speaking. They have talent. So each phase of competition is obviously very different. I did compete once in Miss Teen New York, USA, and it was nice. I'm never going to speak negatively of a pageant because it gives me the ability to talk about a platform. When I would say it's more like swimsuit and like really, really, really heavy glam, and but international is, yes, a little bit of glam, of course, which is, it can be fun. Yeah. There's different phases within, like I said, every pageant. So I don't know all of the phases of the American system, or there's other pageants like the NAM, Miss World. So there's a ton of pageants out there if you look them up.
But I was reading about them and I got overwhelmed.
I know there's a lot. But I truly feel that my mission and my philosophy aligns most with the international pageant system, because they talk about it, again, like I said before, being a family affair and, working together to showcase, authenticity. And it gives me a platform where I can truly show who I am, and that other people can see like the visibility, and how my visibility is also resilience, because, I talk about having, turning pain into purpose. And I feel that I already meet the title of Miss International because I have the resilience, I have the authenticity. Definitely. And, I want NF to be seen visibly, but it's more than just NF. And why I entered pageantry in general is, when you win a title, there's different awards you get. They're called sponsorships besides the crown. So specifically for Miss International, you'll be able to work with different dress companies. Like one is called Ashley Loren and Ashley Renee's. So Ashley Renee's is essentially like the shop, and then Ashley Lauren's the one who makes the dresses. So it's kind of like if you're going into a tux store, they have a bunch of like different tuxes with different brand dresses. But I have never seen in the pageant industry necessarily very many women who look like me, specifically, like tumors, disfigurements. I'm starting to see a little bit more now on Instagram, but I want to show that, yes, we're saying that we're inclusive, but I really am inclusive because I'm the living example. So as Miss International, I'm ready to have that conversation of how can we, showcase my tumors in a way that still meets their brand, and show that, you don't need to be perfect, because what is perfect? What is perfection? I see it as purpose. And, like I keep mentioning, I had that cancer times, and I've lost a lot of friends who I was close to from that cancer. So I believe that I was, here for a reason, and I survived for a reason. I've defied many, many odds for a reason. So my purpose and my purpose is not only to share the voice of those who have passed away, but those who are living to challenge beauty standards, but not necessarily challenge them, because, you know, I still want to stick everybody's beautiful. There's no set beauty, but to showcase inclusivity with representation. And that's what I would do as Miss Internationals, continue my message, because I'm already doing that even without the international crown.
I think you definitely challenge the traditional, like, what people see as beauty standards. I mean, you mentioned it through, like, your kids and stuff, like your little brother, like, slightly picking on you. Kids can be jerks and stuff, right?
I know.
So, you know, it's definitely nice to see you be able to, like, stand in front of people and challenge those standards and be I guess, like a beacon of light, and allow those other people, like we see on Instagram now, showing themselves out, and just helping spread awareness, you know, because if you're not talking about it, nothing's going to get done, right? So,
right.
Talking about this kind of sucks, and it's difficult. But, you know, someone's got to do it, and I think the more people that get out there and be okay or are okay with talking about it, we'll get further along in life. And, you know, it's something that I'm trying, like, recently, right now, myself, getting better with, you know, with like your help and other people's help from CTF. I haven't really done it before, so, you know, it's nice to have that support to get comfortable with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I guess what's the most surprising thing that you learned when you started doing beauty pageants, about, like, how they work and all that stuff, when you just from, like, being an outsider once you finally got started?
Yeah. Okay, so people might be surprised about, it does not happen like overnight. It's a lot of hard work. It could take months to prepare. It could take years to prepare. So I took the year off. So let me tell you about all my titles. I've had a few titles. I was Teen New York International. This shows you how committed I am to the international the international system. And back in 2012, I believe. And I did not win Miss Teen International, and I think that's for the best, because that's actually when I developed cancer for the second and third time. And that moment
would have been a lot of pressure.
And I'll even talk more about why that whole year was probably one of the most difficult years of having NF. We'll talk about that after this point. We'll talk more about my cancer and what was so different and hard for me. But there's so much work and a process. So for international, of course you have to get the headshots, right? You want to look like yourself. Of course, some are edited, yes, but I make sure that, you know, I'm still showcasing my platform, my tumors. Not in a way where it's in your face, but it's still showing me, because I want to show my tumors, but I still want audiences to see me, because I'm more tumors. So it's kind of like a fine line. But there's a lot.
I remember you saying at one point, when you, like, introduced yourself and you were talking about it, you said you wanted to like compliment yourself. I think was the verbiage.
I like to compliment. When I do interview, I will say, so there's different phases. So for the international system, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of paperwork. So you have to create an ad page, a platform page, which talks about your platform, and there's an application. And the application and your platform page go into a book of which the judges see. And then you have an interview, and the judges read through your information, and they ask you questions based off of what's on your sheet, and you don't know what they're going to ask you. So it's really important that you're not lying and that you're being authentic. And that's why I stick so truly to who I am. Because, you know, if you're going to lie on your platform page and you win the title of Miss International, you're going to be someone you're not for the rest of that year. And that's not what I want to stand by, but it's way more than just walking on a stage. So after the interview, of course, you do service work throughout the week, whether it's working with the Boys and Girls Club or different organizations. You do volunteer work, you do some fun activities with the other contestants, and you're still advocating and making connections while the competition is going on. Then there's the on stage. So you start off opening number, where you get to introduce yourself. You just usually say your name, state, And sometimes, I'm not sure what they're doing this year. Last year, they had like an opening number dance. I'm not sure if they're doing that this year. It will be the second time that they've done it in a long, long, long time.
Like a group dance.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
nothing big. Like, kind of like when you see Miss Congeniality, like where
Yeah.
they, if you've ever seen that movie, like an opening number dance, like, you want it to be a
Yeah.
show. Like, it's fun. It doesn't count against you.
Yeah.
But then in the next phase is your fitness wear. So it's not swimsuit. That's it's not like what I like about it is it doesn't show a lot of skin, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm more of platform. I'm here to talk about my mission. And yes, I understand healthy lifestyle is a part of, the international system, and you want to be
Yeah.
healthy and showcase it. They don't count like weight or anything against you, obviously, but there is a fitness part of the competition. Then this is all for prelims, by the way, not to confuse you. So after that
I mean, I'm already
is,
confused. So.
I know there's a lot. So you start with interview, then
Yeah.
you go. This is all like off the stage is interview, right?
Yeah.
On stage is your
Where
fitness wear. Sorry,
and
my
the
throat was getting
dance.
dry. Sorry, your fitness wear, and then you have your fun fashion. And this is like a fashion forward, like fun outfit of your choice. You get to choose what you wear, something eye catching.
Trendsetter.
Which fun fact I had to learn. Fun fashion I thought fitness wear was going to be the most difficult for me, just because I don't have a lot of muscle. Like, I really don't. And it's, NF causes muscle wasting. So no matter how hard I try, I'm never going to be like as muscular as the other girls. So I was a little like self-conscious about that. And, you have to remind yourself like your why. But fun fashion, I learned, was the most difficult because I don't have a lot of mobility with my left arm. So I was like, how can I rock an outfit, but I can't really like do all these turns because I have a metal spine and I can't move a cape as well. And like when I say cape, like some girls will wear like this like pretty dress and the bottom will have a cape, so like it looks so cool, and they're like swim.
Superhero.
It looks so fun,
Yeah.
and they're beautiful. But I was like, but I'm different. So that was something I had to like keep telling myself that it's going to be okay. And I worked with a coach, and I'm excited because not last year, I'm so sorry, I took the year off, but in 2004, when I did the pageant, I noticed like my tumor was getting in the way, not because of how it looked, but because of the lack of mobility, the tumor, and the skin that I
Yeah.
had. But now that I've had this surgery, I'm so excited for fun fashion. I can't wait to see like how I'm going to be able to move my arm once I get to that stage, because I will be ready. The pageant is in July. So
Yeah.
I'm making myself
Yeah.
ready. I'm going to be ready by May. Like I said, it's going to happen.
So that's 2 months from when you're back to work and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I've already like been working on my paperwork, headshots, everything is done. I've submitted that. I'm ready. So now I'm even relearning how to walk, which sounds crazy
Yeah.
because I had, 3.5 pounds heavy tumor. So my walk, even
Oh
on
yeah.
stage for fun fashion and then evening gown would be the next step, is going to be different. And I didn't realize it until I was really like, I went to a cancer. It was like the first event I went to since having surgery. I was walking. I was like, wow. I was like wobbling around, and
Yeah.
I kept tripping. And it's because I'm not used to this less of weight, like
Yeah.
pulling down on my left side. So after your fun fashion is your evening
Yeah.
gown, which I always love. You get to
Yeah.
walk around in a pretty dress, and that is prelims. Now, if the judges liked your interview, and the interview is 50%, I believe, of your score.
Wait, that's
For
all prelims.
yeah,
So
so that's just prelims.
that's
Interview,
phase one.
yeah, that's phase one. And then this year they're doing a top 7. Now, the past 3 years that I've done the international pageant system, I've made top 7 each time, which I'm so
That's pretty
thankful for.
cool. Yeah.
So with finals, and why I want to be in finals, I mean, I want to be Miss International, and I keep saying I know I'm ready to be Miss International. So
Yeah.
I'm already putting in that amount of work, and I took the year off to like really prepare. But with the finals, you do all of what I just said, except only there's a top 7. So if I don't know how many girls are in it this year because not every title has been released, but say there's 20 girls. Of that 20, only 7 of us. They said at least for the Miss division. The other divisions may be a different number, and if more girls join before the actual
Yeah.
pageant, maybe they'll change the number. But as far as I know, right now it's the top 7, and then a people's choice. People's choice is essentially where if the audience like you, they could put money to put you in
Yeah.
to the eighth person, but I've been top 7.
Mm.
And you do the same thing what I said. So you'll do your opening. Everybody does the opening number, right? Then they
Yeah.
announce the top 7. Then you do your on stage question and speech. You have to do a 30-second speech and it's timed. And if you go over, you lose points. And it's about your platform. After you do that, they ask you a question about your platform. You don't know what it's going to be. And it's in front of a huge audience. So now it's not, alone in a room with your judges. Because when you're in the interview room, there's 5 judges. You sit with each judge for however many minutes, and then you rotate to every judge. But, it's one-on-one time with a judge. This is
Yeah.
on stage with all of the judges and everybody watching, whether it's them watching from home or them watching in person. You don't know what they're going to ask you. And then after that, you go your fitness, your fun fashion, and your evening gown, and then they announce who wins.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's a lot of preparation. You really want to, if you're going to do a pageant, specifically one that has like nationals, you want to start years in advance. So that's kind of why I've been doing it for as long as I've had. And this is actually my last year. You age out at 30. So technically, I guess I could do it next year if I did not win. But by the time like July hits, you can't be older than 30. So I'm 29. So I really do believe, like, I'm not trying to brag, but because of the amount of work that I've put in and I showcase that I really love the international system, I believe that I'm ready. And I've been putting in work with all my paperwork since summer. Since I started working with AstraZeneca, I add it to my resume, and then I was making Google Docs of what I've been doing. I have the checklists of what I need to pack, what I need to prepare for, what I need to print. And now I'm really focused, now that my paperwork is done, I'm focusing on the walking phase. So it's going to be 3 months for now, learning how to walk and prepare in the dress that I'm going to be getting. So I have my fun fashion ready, which is exciting. So now I'm going to just get it like fixed and altered a little bit. I'll learn how to use it with my new arm, essentially, once I have the mobility for it. But I at least want to put it on and learn how to walk in it. And then I'll like work on my right
Learn
arm.
how to use it. Yeah.
But right now I can't move my left arm at all, which I will be. Like I said, my physical therapist and my surgeon said there's nothing preventing me from moving it. It's just a matter of like what we talked about before, not being on the right medicines at first to help me. And then just it was a large surgery. It's going to take time, but otherwise the scar is beautiful. So I don't think people realize that it really is a lot of preparation. It's not just walking on stage and looking pretty. You have to represent something and you have to be yourself because they will see right through you.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Because those people have been doing it for years, and they've been talking to lots of people, so they are well aware of who's lying and telling the truth, right? Yeah. So is it 2 dresses for each phase then? So you would have to have 2 sets of.
You get
you wouldn't want to wear the same outfit twice, right?
Yeah, so I'll explain. Sorry if I confuse you. It's because I'm so used to this system. So you get an opening number dress, and it's sponsored by the pageant, by International. So you give them your size and whatever. And I think there's like 3 or 4 dresses. You don't know which one you're gonna get. So everybody gets like you don't get 4 dresses, but out of like the 4, you get one of them. And then you also get the sportswear, which is leggings and like this like kind of crop top. There's either, I don't know if they changed it this year, but they had long sleeve versions. They had a short sleeve version, a 1 sleeve version, which I liked that one a lot. And then you have your fun fashion and your evening gown, and you reuse that for finals. You can't switch it because they even make you register it because
that was
the girls are wearing the same dresses.
Okay.
Now I know other pageants they may do it differently. I'm not sure how they do it, but at least for international, whatever you wear for prelims, you have to wear for finals. You can't switch it because how they design the stage, they do it by color and they want to make sure like no 2 dresses look exactly the same, which is why when you register your gown, if this is what I'm nervous for, because I'm getting my evening gown on May 9th. I was supposed to get it earlier, but because of surgery I had, then that setback, there was no way I could. I didn't want to try on dresses with a huge cast like thing on. Now I just have like a light ace wrap that I can wear to help me at least move my arm a little bit. But hoping whatever dress I choose that no one else has, because then I have to either make alterations to that dress so it looks a little different, or I don't know what I would do, because certain I don't know, but certain companies, it really depends where you go. There's a no return policy, similar to like buying a tux if you don't rent it. So here's to hoping that whatever dress I choose, I don't know yet. But
I know my fingers crossed for you on that too.
Right? My fun fashion was approved, and like I talked about how they do like events in between, and it's like this work where you work with children. There's a photo shoot. That dress didn't need to be approved, but there's like a group photo where you go and watch the preteens, because there's a different age division. So there's the young ones, which is the preteens. Then there's the teen division, my division, which is Miss. Then there's the married division, the ones that go to nationals. So you have to wear a dress to go to that, and you have to make sure no one has that dress too. But no one has that dress. So 2 of my dresses were approved. Now just for getting my evening gown dress and hoping that one is not taken.
That's crazy. That's insane. That's a lot of stuff.
It makes you nervous. That's why it's a lot of preparation. But the most important thing to me is the walk, of course. But I will never, ever have the most perfect model or pageant walk, because, with neurofibromatosis, we're built different. So my walk, no matter how hard I try, it might not look as polished as some of the other girls, but it's still my walk, and I'm proud of my walk because it's me, and I'm there to win the title, but I'm also there to showcase my story and the voices of not just within like the NF community, but all voices of those who feel that they're invisible within the disability community.
No, kind of like how you started talking at first. It's about just being authentic and staying true to who you really are. So that definitely makes 100% sense. I was going to ask you this earlier. Another thing that I thought of: your left side. Does NF impact any of your organs on your left side?
Yes. So my left kidney essentially does not function. They said if the function might be like 2%. It's very tiny. It's about this big. I call it my lima bean, or my little kidney bean. But they do not want to remove it because it's not releasing any toxins. So they said, why put me through a very stressful surgery if it's not releasing any toxins at this point? So that is affected, obviously. I have a tumor on my vagal nerve, so we do have to keep an eye out for that. And when the chemo can cause problems, so we got to keep an eye on that too. But really, it's my kidneys. I have renal artery stenosis and high blood pressure from it, so I do take high blood pressure medication for it. But that is, I would say, probably the most difficult thing, because it's my whole brachial plexus and my left kidney.
Wow. And so were you on the high blood pressure medicine before your surgery?
I've been on high blood pressure medicine since I was 2. So they taught me how to swallow pills by using mini M&Ms. They brought in a child life specialist with my mom. Like the little ones. Yeah, they would make me swallow them, and now I can take 6 pills at a time. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Right?
It's because when I was on the selumetinib, I had to take high blood pressure medicine too. So. Mine. That's
why we had to be careful with which one I went on. That's why the very first one, I don't know if they changed the name, but back in 2015, it was called cabozantinib. That one did not work for me. It was just solely that one caused more kidney problems. Everybody's body's different. They don't know which one works better. They don't know. And no 2 people with NF are the same. So that one was
weird.
But binimetinib and selumetinib, they worked for me. They did not cause harm on my kidneys. And actually, they helped. I would say they helped my high blood pressure. So prior to the MEK inhibitor, I was on, and I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. There's just been a lot with my NF.
It's cool.
Um,
Yeah.
I was taking 100 milligrams of Lusarin, which is a lot apparent. Well, it's a lot for someone my age. Now I take 25. So they
That's
think it's because, like, though when I was on the clinical study, the only tumor that qualified was ironically the tumor on my arm. They couldn't measure it in an MRI, so they would do the MRIs, but they're like, it's smushed, we can't see anything. So they would have to like take measuring tape, and that's how they were able to like determine it. So I'm excited for my next MRI because I think this will be my first MRI since I was a child where they'll be able to actually see
get a good
like
reading of
a
it.
full MRI of my arm. Because I will say, no, even though they removed a certain amount, there'll still be a part, like they said, it hangs a little bit by my elbow, but I will never ever be able to fully extend my arm. That is just a problem I've always had. It's like if you're bow-legged, my arm on my left side's a bowed. So it's always like this. So between it
Yeah.
being bowed and then the smushing of the tumor,
Yeah.
and I don't even mind if you want, I can send you pictures of like the before and the after. They're not bloody. If people are interested in ever seeing that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I share it on the video here. Maybe we can. I'll figure if I can figure out how to
I say
do
I can
that.
even text it to you, right? I don't know if that would
Yeah.
help. I don't know how I should send it to you. It's ever easier, but
I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out. I can do a separate recording, and then I can just mesh the two videos together. I think at some point cut it if we want. That's gnarly. That's tough.
it was
Yeah.
definitely cool.
And but that's crazy that you went on it though. The mech and then it got better. That's crazy because
So much
usually
better.
you wouldn't think that would be the case. What I asked too is because like when I got off the cellumentinib, I started having bladder problems, and then I
Oh,
went back on the mech, and then like 2 weeks later, like it just like stopped. Like I don't know. Like it's happened like since then. I've had like one incident, and
that's
that's it.
crazy.
Yeah, but like yeah, I don't get it. It's just weird timing. I thought I was
I
gonna
know,
go
and
out
that
and
was like with me, like, but even now they did the test and they like, let's see what happens when we take her off. And a week of me being off, all of it was growing back, all of it, and fluid was
yeah.
developing. So they were like, "Yep, nope, nope. She has to." My blood pressure was rising. They were like, "She has to stay. She has to stay on it."
Yeah, I think that's a good point to bring it up too. Like why a lot of people I think are scared to go on things like this and get operated on is because sometimes like it doesn't work and neurofibromatosis is known to be more aggressive like after you do surgeries to the area too sometimes and
Mm-hmm.
it's nerve wracking. It's like you like the you're the doctor that you at your taekwondo right. Uh,
Exactly.
he warned you not to get on Google to go do it, and that's something that even
And that
nurse
my mom
said.
did that,
It's
and
it's a disclaimer.
it scared
Yeah,
her a
yeah.
lot.
So it's definitely a disease that you need to look into more deeply, and not let it just the first page on Google define what you're going to look into, because it's going to be pretty intense. And I think you've definitely done a good way of not letting NF define your whole life, as we talked about today, right? I mean, if I could vote for you for Miss International, I definitely would. That'd be pretty
Thank
cool.
you.
But I don't think they listen to little old Aaron in South Carolina.
That means, but you know what? That means a lot to me. And honestly, part of why I also do what I do is so I really was, of course, you're always sad when you know you don't win something. And I
Yeah,
thought when I was when I was Miss Empire State, which is 2024, I really I thought that was my year. You know, I was like, I'm
yeah,
ready. And when I didn't win, I was like, I think I'm done. I was like, maybe, the pageant world isn't ready for someone like me. Like, meaning because my tumors are so visible and they were large. And I received many Instagram messages. Specifically, I remember one from a mom, and her daughter didn't. There was one that did have NF, and then there was one daughter who she had Down syndrome, and she said, "Mommy, that girl's kind of like me, and she makes me feel beautiful." And so the mom messaged me that, and I was like, I have to do it. Like, I
yeah,
have to do it again. I said, yes, I want the crown and I'm ready for the crown. But in all honesty, I don't think that I need the crown. I think the crown needs me because it needs someone like me to amplify voices.
Yeah. It's crazy how just one person can change the way you feel about yourself and takes and
And that's what it took for me, even though, like when I was, so it was after my spinal fusion, I wasn't even ashamed of my tumors. I was more ashamed of the scars on my spine because it was, like I said, it
right.
was posterior and anterior spinal fusion. So the scars on my back are pretty
Yeah.
thick. And it's not, my surgeon's fault. It had to be that way. I couldn't do a laser
Yeah.
surgery. They even had to go and put in a chest tube because my lung collapsed during surgery. And then, like we were talking about, I had the blood transfusions, and it
Yeah.
was a rough surgery, especially to have it 7. And kids would just like look at not even my
Yeah.
arm. Like I never really was bullied for my arm when growing up. I mean, people today they stare. They're always going to stare.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just used to it.
I find myself doing it too when I'm in public. It's just sometimes it just happens and you don't mean
Mm,
nothing by it. It's just
no,
like
and
it just
that's
catches your
right.
attention.
That's why there's so much stuff I just want to tell you. I keep like
Yeah.
thinking like, oh, so like people stare and they stare, and sometimes like, I used to get so frustrated by it, but now I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're just interested
Yeah.
in it and they've never seen it before. But who inspired me? His name is Jerry. They called him Naughty Man. He passed away a couple years ago. He was mine and my mom's first NF friend, and he was so, if you ever knew Jerry, so sarcastic, so funny. Ironically, how my mom met Jerry is when she was Googling things. She was looking at different websites and she didn't realize she went on a dating website for people with like chronic illness,
Honestly.
specifically NF. I guess
Yeah.
that was a thing. It was like
Yeah.
not even a website, but it was like on some social media platform. I think it was MySpace is where she found him. I don't know. And
MySpace
he
dating
goes,
for NFs.
yeah. And this was like, so like 1997, so 1998. So he goes, honey, do you know what this website's for? And so she was like, no. But he's like, let me reach out. Let me connect you. It was that back then called the National Neurofibromatosis Clinic. And
Yeah.
I went to a symposium and I was taught to ask doctors questions. I was the only child there. Now this is a different surgery I had. I had what they call a wrist stabilization because you could dislocate my wrist and it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
And
Wait, what?
yeah, so like they would just like take the bones in my wrist. They would just like move them around. So I needed like a mesh put into my left wrist. So I have scars even as far down as to like my hand to my left wrist, like right in this area. It wasn't a big surgery, but I did have
Yeah.
I say it wasn't a big surgery compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
But I always remember being in a big blue cast. And no, it's green. It was a green cast, I believe, because I have part of it right there, and I'll explain why I have part of it right there in a second. So to the doctor, and they're like, "Okay, we're here to ask questions." And I stand up, and there's a lot of doctors, a lot of scientists, a lot of NF patients way older than me, and said, "Why do I have NF? Why am I the only one in my family to have NF?" And at that time, like not to bring religion to it, but as a kid, I
Yeah.
didn't know. But I said, what did I do wrong? Like, why did God make me different? Like, did I do something? And they just stared
Mhm.
at me, and they, in their best way, tried to
Mhm.
explain what NF was to an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Then they created their first ever Children's Tumor Foundation video. So I
Mhm.
was part of like the whole like Children's Tumor Foundation, like changing the name with like being a part of that symposium. And I'm in the first
Okay.
ever NF like Children's Tumor Foundation.
So you went viral at a young age then.
So it's really been like my whole life I've advocated for NF with my mom, of course.
Yeah, that's great.
And the
To
reason why I have the green cast is because, like we've talked about, I love the Boston Red Sox. Though this year they're kind of breaking my heart right now. So far,
already.
it's gonna get better. A lot of stuff is going on. I learned last night, but I have Red Sox baseballs signed by David Ortiz, Kurt Schilling, Tim Whitefield, if it wasn't so hard for me to use my left arm, I would show you, but it's really hard to
Yeah.
move around.
And next
Um,
time we can.
we will. And I
Yeah.
have a part of the cast, but he's not on the Red Sox anymore, obviously, and he wasn't one of like the OGs like the others I just said. But I was standing outside, and that's when like you could stand outside of Fenway Park after a Red Sox game, and
Yeah.
all the Red Sox would come out and they would sign like baseballs if you were lucky enough. He pulled me over, and I was the only one that got over. He rolled down his very fancy Jeep and he signed my cast, Coco Crisp.
Nice.
I
That's
kept that
cool.
cast.
Yeah. I
But
would
like
too. Yeah.
I became a Red Sox fan in 2004. The
Was that
year
after your first surgery then? No, you
that
still
yeah,
haven't.
yeah, because
Okay.
they
Yeah.
came to visit me in the hospital at the Jimmy Fund Clinic, and they were all wearing suits, and they were talking, and they were so nice. And I remember my mom coming, and I was like, "Who are those people?" She's like, "Those
Yeah.
are the Red Sox." I'm like, "Okay." Like I
Yeah.
didn't, I didn't like
Whatever.
baseball, like whatever. And I was like, but they were really nice, and they made me feel normal in a time where I'm 7. I'm like I felt so different,
Yeah.
and then my mom wanted to take me to a Red Sox game because, I'd met them. I was in too much pain. I was like, no, I'm cranky. Like, I'm a kid. I'm done. I don't want to deal with them. So then she takes me to a pizza. I can't remember the name of which pizza place it was, but we went to a restaurant and the game was on the TV. And I was like, Mom, that's right there. That's where we just were. Now I want to go to the game. Of course, we couldn't go to the game.
Yeah.
It was too late.
Yeah.
But the waitress had me standing on the table and I'm cheering for the Red Sox. And that was the year that they broke the curse of the Great Bambino. If you know, you know. It took them a long time.
Yeah.
So
My science teacher was a big Boston fan.
mhm.
That was when that year. So
So I
they won, and then she took off like a week.
I joke around and I say, because I became a Red Sox fan in 2004, I am the reason why they broke the curse. I met them then, they won, and I've been a
Well,
Red
then
Sox first.
they might have good chances this year then, since you just had that
I
surgery. So
I hope so.
they
I
got
don't know.
time to turn it around.
Their recent manager is no longer their manager. Found out yesterday, and they're changing a few positions around within the manager and the pitching coach and all of that. So I don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. I found out yesterday. So we'll see what's going on. But
So
at the Red Sox, sometimes, if you've ever seen the movie Fever Pitch, there's a line that says, "The Red Sox, they'll break your heart, kid." And trust me, sometimes they break my heart, but I will
Yeah.
forever be a true Red Sox fan. My mom is a Red Sox fan. My brother Jace, I think he's a bigger Red Sox fan than me, which says a lot because I'm a huge
Yeah.
Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
He loves baseball. There's a player right now named Jaron Duran, and he's a big advocate for mental health. And if I could ever make it happen so Jace could meet him, I would love that. But we did. Jaron Duran is one of the only few Red Sox players to this day that will still go in that area where he used to be able to go to sign kids autographs for all the kids. So I have a baseball hat signed by him. Jace has his now signed by him,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it made him so happy. But Jace tries to hit Jaron Duran, and after this, I'm gonna text you videos. Look at how Jaron Duran hits. I've never seen someone with such an interesting stance before, but it works for him. He's fast. They call him a lizard because he's fast. So he's awesome. He's a really nice person. Just I had a conversation with him where he was signing my hat, and just the advocacy work he does for mental health. He is just a genuine person, and he's been through a lot prior to 2017, I think, is when he really struggled with mental health. So he himself decided to, give back, and yes, of course, be one of the best Red Sox players recently, but to help people who are suffering. And that's why I love the Red Sox, because I'm sure other baseball teams, help cancer organizations too. I'm sure the Yankees do, but I don't pay attention to the Yankees. No offense to the Yankees. But the fact that they still to this day visit the hospitals, and they have, cancer patients come out and throw the first pitch or sing the national anthem. It's it's really, Fenway Park is really magical, and I'll always love the Red Sox. no matter what.
Do you go to games often? Or
As much as I possibly can.
yeah,
I went to one, but I went to one after my post-op, after being told, because I was really upset after I was told like the setback I had and how I couldn't go back to work. My mom wanted to surprise, well, my stepdad wanted to
like post
surprise
op,
me.
as in like last week.
Yeah,
Yeah, not
yeah.
like 2 years
And
ago.
he wanted to surprise me, so he got some kind of like luckily discount. It's like the Ford. It's VIP, but it's not VIP like you're gonna meet the Red Sox. But like you go into a room and you're only certain people are allowed to go into
You
this room,
get
and you could order from
comfortable
this
seats.
restaurant. Yeah, well, they weren't like those ones. They weren't like the comfortable seats, but like we were right in front of um home plate. But if you ever get tired of like sitting in your seat, you can go into it's called like the Ford restaurant that's connected, and you
Yeah.
eat in there and you can still watch the
Oh,
game.
that's cool.
So that's what he did for me because he knew like my body was not strong enough to sit through a Red Sox game. And I doubt they were going to let me bring in like a huge pillow. Even now, I'm resting my arm to be
Yeah.
elevated on a pillow. I was like, they're not going to let me have
They
it.
might.
So what I did was it was still cold then too because it was recent. It's been cold lately. We had my Red Sox hoodie that I couldn't put it over my head yet because I still can't really like I have to wear loose objects to be able to get dressed. So otherwise my mom has to help me get dressed. But I brought my big Red Sox hoodie that it looked like I just bought from the store.
Yeah.
And then I had a blanket and then a button up sweater that I could put my right arm through and then just button it up and have it like swing over my right arm. So I made my own like makeshift pillow.
Like a swing cast almost.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had the sling. I had a big thick sweatshirt under my arm and a blanket. So
Yeah.
I'll make it to a Red Sox game anytime
Nice.
I can.
Maybe when it's a little bit warmer outside too.
Yes,
Nice.
definitely. Especially my brother, he's dying to go. He's like, we gotta go back.
Does he play baseball?
He does, and ironically, so it's little league, but he's in the majors, and
Nice.
they had so many kids that they needed to create another team, and they wanted my stepdad to be a coach.
Yeah.
And he was going to get all the rookies, all the kids that never really played baseball before. So he goes, I'll coach on one condition. We're the Red Sox. Because they didn't have a Red Sox team. They had a
Uh,
Phillies, they had an A's, they had other teams, they had the Yankees, of course, but they didn't
I
have
guess
the
they're
Red
in New
Sox.
York. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, they had like other, like, I don't know. So they had the Red Sox. So this is the second year where he's on the Red Sox.
And what was the name of that restaurant you said that was connected to
It was
first
like
base or home plate?
Ford. It was something Ford. I can look it up right now.
How was the food? Was the food good there?
It was pretty good. It was, but it was really good. But like, you can only go in there if you have these certain tickets.
Yeah.
Tickets for Ford Red Sox. I'm gonna get the right name for
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna try to go to my email. Let me see. I'm
Oh no,
sorry.
it's okay. Yeah, not a problem. Just while you try to find that, what's your favorite ballpark food though? Are you just the nachos girl? You seem like you'd be the nachos
I
girl
was
more than
not.
anything.
I like nachos or French fries. I do like
Yeah,
French fries. Pretzels are good too,
yeah.
but let me see. Do I sent because they asked me to reach out to them recently
Do you
for
do
because
the vinegar on the fries?
I don't. I like cheese fries
Yeah.
or just regular fries, but vinegar is good too. It's the Ford Clubhouse at Boston Red Sox.
Okay. Nice.
Though, because I reached out to them when we were there, I was like, I was a Jimmy Fund kid. Is there anyone like they do stuff for the Jimmy Fund Foundation all of the time?
Yeah.
Is there a way where I can give back and come back as Miss Massachusetts and do something for the Ford Clubhouse with the Jimmy Fund to do
Yeah.
something for cancer patients? So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
That'd be pretty cool. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And who is the guy that played for the Rockies that did stuff with the Children's Tumor Foundation?
Ian Desmond.
Ian Desmond. Yeah. Did you ever meet him?
I did. So the year I won the Ambassador Award, he also won that award. In touch. We talk on Instagram. He's an awesome person.
Yeah. Is he still? I don't really know too much about baseball. Does he still play or?
No, so he retired during COVID and he decided to give back to his community and rebuild baseball parks for underprivileged like families and communities.
Nice, very cool. That's
And
yeah, that's him giving back to the community. So it was his who that has it, I think.
no, it was
Or met someone through a program, or maybe it was.
we were just talking about Ethan. Was that his name? He passed away. Ethan. He wrote a book.
I think yes. I think that sounds maybe.
Let me see here.
We can go. I can
I
Google.
don't want to give you the wrong name. I'm sorry. Medicines make my brain like have brain fog. NF.
Ian Desmond, NF. Oh, he didn't play.
Yes, I was right. Ethan Brown of my life. And I have his book right there.
You own his book?
Yeah, when he passed away, they were doing something and they were to raise awareness. Um, and I decided to read his book. I haven't read it yet, only because I wasn't ready, just because it was like Ethan passed away. So, it's hard losing someone within the NF community. Then Jeff passed away, and then Nick passed away. Nick and I were close. I'm very close to the Gilberts, so that was
Yeah.
a hard one.
They've done a lot. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm looking at the cover for his book, and they even got the puzzle piece on the logo.
That's how far.
Yeah, that's
And that's how far back I've been a part
very
of.
very retro. Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to add that. You can link for that too in the video at the end. But Noble, you can get it right now for $7.
Yeah, I recommend people getting it. I really do.
Yeah, I have one book. It's like a children's book.
Here, let me see what I can get. 1 second. I want to show you
You
something
can see
too.
it online.
Oh yes, I have seen that
Wait.
one.
Yeah.
I have seen that one. Ironically, because we're talking about books, so it's not official yet. But so I wrote a play, Thank You, I'm Sorry, with my mom.
I think I watched that on the television.
Yeah, we had it like it was
Not
like
on
a
the
video
television.
stream.
Yeah, video stream.
Um,
Yeah.
so it was we learned really, 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 really hard to reenact all of those moments that we've been through. So instead of it being so sad, we want to write a book more about resiliency and like our journey with NF, especially now
Yeah.
because she's Ms. Massachusetts. So we are aspiring co-authors because it hasn't started yet. And we're going to be turning the play into a book. So less about like, because obviously, in the plays, they want to talk about the relationships that you're in, like the drama behind it. But we want it to be strictly more about like resilience and navigating chronic illness. And I'm very excited to
So
see.
turning it into a little short story or whatever.
Yeah, it'll be a long story because it'll be our whole journey. But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
something probably to the size of Ethan's book.
That's exciting. Very
Mm-hmm.
cool. We've been talking for quite a bit of time. I know that you have some friends that you're hanging out with, so I don't want to keep you from them, or I guess keep you from them too much longer. So,
Okay.
I got a couple more questions before we wrap up, then, and then
Okay.
I'll finally let you go. We're talking about food, the restaurant, was not Tom Ford. Ford, was it Ford Motor Restaurant? No.
It was Ford Clubhouse at Red
Ford
Sox.
Clubhouse, yeah. So, yesterday I hung out with Aaron for a little bit, Aaron Baum from the board, and we talked about the junior board cookbook that's coming out and how we both have not done anything or like put too much thought into it. So, what about you? I'm more trying to see if I can steal an idea from you and submit it really quick.
Maybe I would have to say at the top of my head that comes off. So my grandpa, sorry, I just struck my table. He passed away last October, but I always thought it was my grandma's quote secret recipe chicken, and it's no secret. But it turns out it was my grandpa's. So it's essentially crispy chicken, like chicken fingers, but like you make it from home. And you dunk it in duck sauce, and it's really good. It might not be healthy for you,
That sounds
but
really good.
I like that. Otherwise, something with like Brussels sprouts. I love
You
Brussels
love
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
I love like if you cook them the right way. So like I like to put them in the air fryer, and I like
Mm.
really spicy foods. So I'll add sriracha on top, or if you add like an Asian zing sauce. So something along
Nice.
those
Yeah.
lines. Maybe like my grandpa's secret recipe chicken with Brussels sprouts or
Yeah.
something like that.
Fun. Yeah. Does he make the orange sauce too, or is it like just like a store bought
No,
one
you
that
would
you
just
do?
buy that. My grandma
Okay.
probably knows how. My grandma is
Yeah.
a really good cook. She's Sicilian, so if you like Christmas time, like she makes everything. She does the fish. She does, like the ham and all of that. Like it's a lot of cooking, but it was a
Yeah.
little different this Christmas since my grandpa passed. But
Yeah.
I would
That's
probably
tough.
say in honor of my grandpa, I would make something he liked. If he could choose, he would probably choose squid, but I don't like squid. I'm allergic to seafood, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm allergic to
Yeah.
seafood because it's not for me.
No, I'm not a big seafood fan. I buy tuna because it's in the can because it's cheap.
That's the ours all go. But
Yeah.
honestly, that they don't know, but they think it has something to do with the MEK inhibitor. It's more of the iodine in like
Hmm.
the seafood. So it's like shrimp. Even when they're doing PET scans, they have to be mindful of the dye that they use because
Yeah.
it's like I don't go to anaphylactic shock or anything, but I get like weird blotchy marks up my face. But if I like
Hmm.
eat like shrimp or something, it's just like I have like a sore throat and I'm like, like my throat doesn't close or anything.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm probably just sensitive to it,
Yeah.
but I don't like seafood. So I'm like, I'm allergic.
Yeah. That's usually that's what I go with. Oh yeah, I'm allergic. Yeah. Gross. Not that I don't want to eat your food, right? So you got a lot going on in your life. You're gonna come back and end of the school year, right? There's gonna be a month left, and a lot of like this kind of podcast and like what the junior board is doing is gonna be geared towards that younger generation
Yeah.
entering adulthood. So like, what is some of the advice that you're giving your students that are getting ready to graduate?
Okay, so I work for an alternative school. Um, so with my school, it's called Career in Tech. So basically, they choose a program that they like and they're in there for 2 years. So what I tell them is really explore career in tech. Now, when I do the recruitment for it as well. Well, I used to. My
Yeah,
position kind of changed this year. So I'll start with talking with 10th graders. I go to their school. I talk about our programs, and I remind them. I'm like, you don't whatever you're interested now, why don't you try career in tech? It's you're not paying for these services, your school is, and you're gaining lifelong skills that could possibly help you either go right into the workforce
yeah,
or even becoming a sophomore in college or going right into the trade school because they all have different timelines and there's no structured obviously there's a curriculum, but it's not like, in New York, we take Regents exams. And that's about to change, though. They're getting rid of Regents exams, but it's, we're not forcing them into a box. We're creating a mold around them that meets their needs and making them have career and lifelong skills. So I just tell them, try it. Um, though it's going to be difficult at times, don't give up on your passions. So we have
yeah,
welding programs, we have natural resource programs, but just live in that moment and just even if you finish the program and you gain all the certifications and you could go into the workforce with depending on the program you choose or you could become like I said a sophomore in college. It doesn't mean you have to go to that pathway. It's just an
yeah,
alternative environment that allows you to help you have different pathways into success.
yeah. No, yeah. Being open and willing to try, I think, is a huge step into being like an adult and finding success in the future. So
Mhm.
that's very good to instill that at an early age. So you go to a private? Is it a private school that you work at then?
No, it's a public school, so it's basically partners with our local school districts. So we're basically like a service provider for our local districts,
Okay.
the districts that we serve. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's kind of like how I think we have like they're called like Kate centers, and they're like
Very similar.
specialties. Yeah, so it sounds similar to that what we have here. That's really cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice. That's exciting. And so, I know that you're very involved with CTF. So, in the NF community, what's the most exciting thing that they're working on right now that you I guess been doing with them?
With the social media, sorry, you cut out for.
I'm sorry. You can talk about social media. I know
No,
they're
no,
not
you
really
cut
big
out for a
into that.
second. Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, yeah, sorry. So I was saying you do a lot with like CTF and the NF
Yes.
community, and so I was just curious that what have you been working on that excites you the most?
So it's exciting to me most. Besides saying like we're gonna have the next gen social media page for Instagram, which is in the works. More details to come because we can only
Mm-hmm.
talk about so much. But we're partnering a lot with CTF, and they have our full support to be able to promote NF, hear from younger generations' voices, young adults. Obviously, still making sure we're showcasing the CTF brand and just the representation of NF. But like I said before, I really, really have loved, enjoy working with Alexion and AstraZeneca because obviously they also work closely with CTF and they come to Summit and other NF galas. And that's just because I love patient centered care. And knowing that no two people are the same, regardless of the illness that you have. And that's just the most important to me and something I'm most excited about, which is why I created my platform. And I'm actually in the middle of building a website, and my brother is helping me called Hidden Heroes. So it's going to be
Nice.
www.hiddenheroes, then a hyphen like that, org, and it will have my story, my mission, why I want to like redefine the beauty standards, and then it obviously have like useful links and like what NF is. It'll link to NFX, the Children's Tumor
Yeah.
Foundation, and then there'll be a section where it's like share your own stories, so I can add like different hidden heroes. Is educated
Mm.
on the education side is going to be more about NF, but I don't want to limit people's voices. So I'm open to hearing from other people who want to share
Yeah.
their own journey, like navigating illness.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Don't want to exclude someone's story because at the end of the day, it's all kind of the same goal, right? If we can
Mm-hmm.
understand one disease, we can probably understand several diseases. Like, think about like how they talk about, like, especially someone with like autism and Down syndrome,
Yes.
with how they are affected the chromosomes, just like with people with NF. So
Well, yes,
they're
my cousin, it's a similar genetic mutation as us, but it's not the same one, obviously. But she has autism, but hers is different. And it's because of a chromosome that she has, an issue with one of the chromosomes that she has. And she's another reason why, like I want to give back and just seeing other people's stories. There's so many people where they're just so overlooked, and I want their voices to be heard. And that's why, like, everybody said, but why
yeah,
are you using pageantry? I'm like, okay, you can't tell me when you walk into a room and you see someone wearing a sash or a crown that you're like, why are they wearing a sash or a crown? I want to know more about them. And it's not
yeah,
merely about me, it's about my platform and what I stand for.
yeah. And I also think earlier you talked a lot too about how I guess I don't know, might be paraphrasing, but you said the crown needs you or the crown deserves you, whatever you say. I think that's a good mindset to have, especially
Yeah.
when you go about entering into adulthood. That's the kind of like mindset you should take into like when you approach things. Like, hey, like I'm not ready for this thing. This thing like is ready for me.
Yeah.
Like I am this
I
position
was going to say,
already.
like, I don't
So
need it, but I think it needs me. And
yeah,
when I really, so when I was asked that question once at nationals, and that's when I came up with the answer. And I'm not saying it's because all of these sad things I went through that I like, that's why the crown needs me. I think the crown needs me because I'm already a voice that has been doing this for
yeah,
so long. And it took a lot of work for me to even to get to where I am, because there's like two or three last things I'd like to really like hit on. Is that one, when I had cancer, I've had cancer 3 times. First time we found out was on accident. I dislocated my shoulder, and I was
yeah,
stopping a lot of pain. long story short, I was supposed to go for an MRI, but there was an issue, so other patients needed the MRI. They put me into a PET scan. Said it's pretty much the same thing. We just utilize it for different
Yeah.
testing, but you're still going to see your tumors. And it lit up, like something lit up right next to my heart. It was about a centimeter away from my heart. Um, I immediately got told I needed a biopsy, and they biopsied it. It was a different doctor. I don't remember his name, but I remember he looked like Santa Claus. And I was a freshman in high school, and I found out at my very first homecoming that I had cancer, and I had surgery within a couple of, but not, it was very fast. It happened so
Yeah.
fast. And they said it was so aggressive that by the time they removed it, they would have given me like a couple of weeks to live. Then the second and third time, luckily they obviously removed it all, but if they didn't, I wouldn't have survived. Um,
Yeah.
the second and third time were the most difficult. And what really led me to wanting to be a voice is, yes, I've been doing public speaking since I was 8, but where I had cancer the second and third time, it was all in one. I knew it was back. I took a lot of advocacy on my end to say something was wrong, but people thought I just had PTSD from having cancer. I said, no, something is wrong. I feel sick again. I feel weak. And I'm not trying to scare people. This is
Yeah.
very rare. I want listeners to know this cancer is very, very rare. So just continue to
I
speak with
think
your,
it's like you have to have you have plexiform neurofibromas
yeah.
to
And
even get this type of cancer,
I
and
think
then
it's
from there
about
it's
like,
like I think it's like 20% of people
yeah, it's like
get it.
15 to 20%. It's very rare. And to get it a second and a third time is even more rare.
Yeah.
So I don't want listeners to, like, especially someone newly diagnosed with NF, I do not want you to be scared. This is why I say my case is milder than others. It's because I don't talk necessarily about this part to certain people because I don't want them to be scared. But the most mentally challenging time was the first and the second time I had cancer, or I'm sorry, the second and the third. So the one was under my lymph nodes right here, and one was on the front part of my spine. So it's very, very hard to see. They did a great job with the incision, but I have a small scar right here. The tumor was on the front part of my spine, so they had to go through my neck here. When I woke up, I looked at my mom and I couldn't talk. They thought at first it was because of swelling. And then I had like a very raspy, like deep voice, and then it was also sometimes really squeaky. So I joked, I sounded like E.T. and Batman at the same time. Like it was not my voice, and it was very airy. That's why if you hear my voice now getting more raspy, it's because of the issue I had. I couldn't swallow foods. I was choking. I they kept saying it'll come back, it'll get better, and then I'm not getting better. I mean, I was healing, but my voice just wasn't there, and I was still struggling to swallow. Um, so they did a procedure where they stick a camera down to look at your vocal cords, and my left vocal cord was paralyzed.
Yeah.
So they walked it was a crazy experience. They did it. They walked in, they said, yeah, your left vocal cord's paralyzed. It wasn't my typical medical team. They said, just so you know, your vocal cords, you're probably never going to be able to like speak normal, not be able to really eat good solid foods again, but you definitely probably won't be able to speak ever again. And they walked out. And I just remember crying because I was still admitted to the hospital, in the bathroom, like in the shower, with like just feeling so defeated because that was the
Yeah.
only normalcy in my life, was public speaking, obviously. And I
Yeah.
like to perform and sing. After 6 months of pushing through, doing speech therapy, like where I had to learn how to swallow at least, and trying to talk. My brother was talking and I was trying to talk over, like trying, because like I said, I had like this slight voice, but it was very hard to
Yeah.
hear and very hard to understand because my right vocal cord was working. It was just the left one was not. Like literally it like clicked, like you heard like a little click, and my voice came back. Doctors do not know how. To this day, we don't know
You
how
you
or
found
why.
your voice.
but my voice came back. It's a little different than what I'm used to. I don't even remember what my old voice sounds like. But like I said, back when I was a sophomore at this point in high school, so 9 years ago, about it came back. It's still partially paralyzed, so it moves a lot slower, but it's here. So that was like the most defying part of my journey. Like that really like I like I said, I struggled the most. So with that being said, like I think like the last thing that I really want to hit on is,
Yeah.
you know, I know NF is hard and there's going to be moments where you feel so defeated and
Yeah.
you're going to have to rebuild yourself. You just have to keep reminding yourself that it's okay. And that even though it's always an uncertainty, just surround yourself with those who love you, with those who have NF. Really talk to your caregivers and just help them, you know, let them be your support system because it's really important to know. And this is something that a quote my mom has always told me. It's not brave if you're not scared. So yes, things are scary, and like I said a million times, it's very scary to live in the unknown of NF, especially you know being newly diagnosed. But just know that your story doesn't define you, and it's okay to not be okay. And in the moments that you're scared and you push through that moment, that is what makes you brave.
I think that's all really good advice, especially saying that it's okay to not be okay. I think that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people forget about that. It's okay to ask for help and to admit that strong enough to do everything else by yourself in the moment, and
Yeah.
to reach out to those people that can support you, or maybe they might not even know you need it. So it's good to just speak out. So thank you, and definitely, I'm
Thank
really
you.
glad that you were able to find purpose through this and not let it to put back and
Thank
keep you down in
you.
the slump, especially through everything that you had to go through this last month. That's really rough. I know what it's like to have not recoveries after you have some surgery, so it's
Right.
not fun. If you want more over this next month, I'm always
Yeah.
here to chat. Uh,
Me too.
yeah, and thank you. And so, no, I definitely really appreciate your time from hanging out. You get your friends in the back. Uh, I don't know whatever they're doing, right?
Thank
Taking your
you.
time away, right? Yeah, your honesty, your vulnerability, letting us hear your story. It's it really is inspiring to me, who's a similar journey, and I'm sure to those who are listening that are not
Thank
familiar,
you.
right? Yeah, so like conversations like these really are what matter. I know you touched on it, like it's all about getting out there and talking about it. If you're not talking about it, no one's going to,
No one's
and
going to.
we're no change is going to happen. So your story definitely reminds us that every diagnosis it reflects a person, a life, and something that deserves to be heard. If
Thank you so
something,
much.
yeah, no, yeah, thank you, Brianna, saying if episodes like this mean more Brianna's going to be sharing some stuff in the near future. Once she
Oh
gets her
yeah.
website up, I'll share it with everybody here so
Thank
they can
you.
follow along there. And I'll put stuff from CTF so you can go read about similar stories. And if you want to donate, there's links on there to hear about their events and to their donation page. And then I also support CTF through my business, so you can
I'll
purchase
say
a
we
bag
got
of
some of your
coffee.
business. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I donate a percentage of the proceeds from there, and will go to benefit Brianna and myself, who are taking these MEK inhibitors and getting life-changing surgeries to ourselves, and then hopefully go out there and impact others. Right? Yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you,
And
thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you and your business. It's truly, you're doing amazing things.
No, thank you. It's been fun. It's drinking coffee, fun to talk about coffee. You got to with I guess he wasn't a teacher, but a faculty member from the university. So it was fun to chat things the hospitality school does. But no, yeah, I thank you
Thank
all
you.
again for listening, and I hope you have a great day. And we'll take care.
Thank you so much.